Hello and welcome to the third lecture of section 6, EC2 Auto Scaling. What is auto scaling? Auto scaling enables you to automatically expand or shrink your server infrastructure based on your application traffic pattern. So, if your business grows, your infrastructure will grow automatically. If you have a lean season, your infrastructure will shrink automatically. Auto scaling helps you to maintain the right size required for your infrastructure. No more over or under provisioning of infrastructure. Scale out or horizontal scaling. That is, if you want to increase the number of servers, then scale out. Scale out means if your traffic is increasing, you need to scale out. Scale in. So when the demand is decreased, you go for decrease in number of servers, and that's scale in. Auto scaling components. Groups. So this is the most important component of auto scaling, and this is the way we organize EC2 instances in a single logical unit, and we call it as auto scaling groups. You can specify minimum, maximum and desired number of EC2 instances. So minimum and maximum are the boundaries of your EC2 instances. That is minimum number of instances you want and the maximum number of instances you permit for these groups. And desired is the number of instances which is required right now. Then you have the launch configuration. Your group uses launch configuration as a template for its EC2 instances. So since instance creation is automated in auto scaling, you need to provide a template, a model, so that based on that template your auto scaling will launch the EC2 instances. We will see this in a quick lab session which is coming after a while. So this is just like launching your instance, similar to that. Scaling plans. A scaling plan informs EC2 auto scaling when and how to scale. You can choose your scaling plan based on the occurrence of specified conditions, that is dynamic scaling, or on a schedule. For specified conditions, that is for dynamic scaling, your conditions could be when CPU utilization is greater than 90%, you need to create a particular number of instances. The instance number should increase from say 2 to 4 or 5 or whatever. Okay, and on a schedule, it means you can set a definite date and time, and based on that date and time the auto scaling will launch instances. It will increase or decrease the number of instances in your auto scaling group. So what are the scaling options? Manual scaling, scaling based on a schedule, and scale based on demand. Manual scaling is simply log into the AWS console and change the size of an existing auto scaling group. So this is the simplest one. You can scale based on a schedule, and so when you need to respond to a predictable traffic, that is for example, schedule a policy in advance to create a higher number of instances to take care of the Black Friday sale. So you already know that this year what's the date on 4th of for example 4th Friday of November, that is that Black Friday sale date. So for that particular date you can schedule a policy that you require X number of instances on that particular date, and that will be auto executed. Then we have this scale based on demand, that is when you don't know when to increase or decrease the number of servers, then it's a unpredictable traffic demand. So you don't know beforehand when your server load will increase or decrease. Example, increase your instance count when CPU utilization goes above 80% for 10 minutes. So here, just to get understanding of what we have spoken till now, we will go for a quick lab. The objective of this lab is to create an auto scaling group, and to achieve our objective, first we will create a launch configuration, and then we will create an auto scaling group, and then we will see in action scale out and scale in based on a schedule. So let us log into AWS console, create auto scaling group, keep this group at its initial size. That's fine with us for this demo. Next we'll go and configure notifications. Here in auto scaling group notification, you can add your own email ID. I have already added mine in during CloudWatch demonstration. You can but it's quite simple. You just need to create a topic and enter one email ID. Even if you're not doing this, it's not a problem. So whenever instances is getting launched, terminated, or fail to launch or fail to terminate, you will get an email notification. So next, configure tags. Write it as name and maybe auto scaling group as value, and we'll go ahead with review. So review is, that's fine, and create auto scaling group. I will click this. Now it's creating the auto scaling group. We'll close this, and here we are with auto scale group and instances 2, desired 2, minimum 2, and max 2. So desired instances are 2, minimum instances is 2, maximum is also 2. Now let us go and check in EC2 what's happening over there. In EC2 dashboard, so I had told you already that you need to remember that earlier when I started this demo there were no EC2 instances. Now after creating that auto scaling group, these instances are getting, 2 instances are getting launched. See, status check initializing. So they are running, but still they are under provisioning. Okay, I will refresh this and we will get this after a while. So see this name, auto scaling group, the tag which we had provided. So I'll pause the video for a while. So I am back again after a couple of minutes, and the status checks is 2 out of 2 green for these 2 instances which were launched as a part of auto scaling group. So we will go back and see what's happening in this create auto scaling group in another browser window. Okay, and let us see this activity history. Okay, so in activity history you can see it has successfully launched new instances, 2 EC2 instances, and the resource ID is also given over here, and the date and time at which it has started creating, and the start time and end time is given. So this is under activity history in auto scaling group. And if you want to check your launch configuration, which we had done as a first step of this lab, here it is, launch configuration. Based on this launch configuration we had created this auto scaling group. Now the third step was to check with a schedule policy. I will click this scheduled actions and let us see what happens. We will create a scheduled action. I will name it as scale out, for example, scale out, and then minimum is 2 and maximum is 4. Let us say desired is 3, and it should occur 5 minutes from now. So it's asking the time in UTC. So let us find out what's the time in UTC right now. UTC time. So now right now it's 6:33 p.m. So let us go ahead with 5 minutes later, that is 6:38 p.m. So 6:38 p.m. will be 18:38 over here, and we should provide a date 17. Okay, and so right now we have two running instances you have seen. Now I am scheduling it to go ahead with a desired capacity of 3. Okay, at this date and time. Now I'll go and create it. So here it's showing time in IST actually, 8 minutes past midnight. So we have given it in UTC, but it's now showing it in IST, Indian Standard Time. 8 minutes past midnight it should execute. So let us go and wait for this to get executed over here. And right now we have 2 instances, and we are expecting that after 2 minutes. So I had paused the video for a while, and now it's 8 minutes past midnight, and I will keep on refreshing this for a while, and okay, it has started. You can see this, and the time is now 8 minutes past midnight. You can see this here, and it has launched one instance because we had given, as per the schedule, we have given 3 as a desired instance. So it has started launching the instance. You can see this here. I had paused it again so that we can get status checks 2 by 2. And I have resumed again. Now let us go and check what's happening over there in our auto scaling group. So here we will check activity history, and I will refresh it, and you can see it has successfully launched a scheduled action, executing a scheduled action scale out, launching new EC2 instance. So based on this it has launched. Okay, these 2. So earlier we had these 2, it has added this 2 after the scheduled action has been initiated and completed. Okay, and we will add, let us see one scaling action, I mean decreasing the number of servers. So scheduled action, create a scheduled action, name it as, let us name it as scaling, and minimum is 1, maximum is 1, desired is also 1, and start time, let us check what's the time right now. So it's 6:44 p.m. so we can give it here as 18:46 on today, and I will go ahead and create. Okay, so we will check here what's happening. I will just keep on refreshing it. Scaling will be so as per the Indian Standard Time it should happen at 16 minutes past midnight. So still we are left with 1 minute. So I will pause the video for a minute. So here we are, it's now 17 minutes past midnight, and it has started executing. So it's now going to terminate these 2 instances because the number of desired instances is 1 right now as per the schedule. So I think you have understood this. You can see this, it's going on, and now the instance state is shutting down. So gradually it will go into terminated state. Let us observe this. And we can check, in the meanwhile we can go and check the activity history. I will refresh it. Okay, so you can see this, the new schedule has been initiated and it's in progress. Terminating EC2 instance, terminating EC2 instance, this and this, that is they are terminating 2. We'll go back and see. So these 2 instances are terminated now, and now we have only 1 running instance as per the scheduled policy. Okay, so I hope this was quite interesting, the way I have tried to explain scale in and scale out in auto scaling groups. And auto scaling is, you can say, it's the USP of any cloud service provider, because the traditional hosting providers, they don't have this capability. So now I will log off from here, and I would like to say explore auto scaling group, because auto scaling is one of the most important topics as far as AWS certifications and job interviews are concerned. See you in the next lecture. Thank you.